Hello, welcome to Spiritually Speaking. My name is Hilary Raven Porter. I'm a starseed oracle and a multidimensional healer. I blend the wisdoms of the divine with the traditional healing methods to help you come to a heart-centered space, to a place where your patterns are retrieved so that they can be rejigged to be of greater benefit to you in accessing your higher self as well as your power, your calm, bringing those synchronicities within your life. So what are we doing here with Spiritually Speaking? Spiritually Speaking, like I said, is a way for us to decode the lingo of the divine. There's all these things out there, right? You hear all these things about the 5D and ascension and spiritual awakening and the cosmos and multi-dimensions, and you're just like, what does this all even mean, right? And we don't always want to admit that we don't know what's happening or that what's being talked about. So I wanted to decode some of the lingo. Also, honestly, some of the lingo that I hear out there, I'm just like, I have an idea of what it means. Like the gist, you look at the context of the sentence and you're just like, okay, I kind of get that, but still not 100% sure. So this has also been amazing for me as well, a learning experience, and we're always learning and growing, and I love it. So for the next few videos, by that I mean a few, times 4, probably about 12, we're going to be talking about dimensions. You'll hear like the 5D reality, or you're living in 6D, or this is the 3D reality, right? What we're doing right now, this concrete reality. And you're like, but what does that even mean? So we're going to decode each one separately, okay? So first off, what are dimensions? Well, dimensions, here we go, state of consciousness, okay? State of consciousness, and a way of organizing the different planes of existence. So 5 planes of existence, and in each one we have different things that we resonate with, okay? But this is the thing, within each plane of existence, so 5 planes of existence, each of the 12 dimensions live. Fractal, right? 12 within 12 within 12 within 12. So we have these fractal planes that are happening. It's not just like, oh, you're in plane 1, that means you're only within the 1st to the 4th dimension, or the 1st to the 3rd dimension. That's not how it works, okay? And it depends on the vibratory rate of that which exists within that plane. Vibratory rate, how you're doing this, right? Everything is vibrating. The table is vibrating. Your pen is vibrating. All those little atoms in there and molecules and everything are vibrating. And it just depends on how big that space is in between each of those things as to how dense, right? How dense something is, okay? Now, each dimension is going to have a certain set of laws and principles that it abides by. Oh, my kitten is coming. Every time I get on this video, she's like, oh, what about me? So you might get a treat by her. Okay, so each dimension is a certain set of laws and principles specific to that dimension, okay? So that exists within that. So if you resonate with a specific level, right, within that particular level, then you exist on that level. So today we're going to be talking about the first degree. First degree. I keep saying degree because I've used the degree symbol in my book. The first dimension. The first dimension is crystals, rocks, ore, minerals, atoms, all those things. So you're going to resonate at that level. Now, when I talk about planes being higher and lower than, I'm not talking about better or worse. And I know many of us know that, and we understand that when we say I have a higher frequency, we're not talking that I have a better frequency. I just have a finer frequency or a denser frequency, right? And we can think about this in the way of water. We have ice, we have steam, and we have water, like liquid. Is any one of them better than another? No. Just depends on the vibratory frequency as to what state it is taking, right? If it's not vibrating as fast, you're getting something more dense, like ice. If it's vibrating faster, you're getting something like steam. It's just the way that it is presenting itself in that state, okay? Now, dimensions are different states of being interconnected through the holographic light grid, which is a pulsating, waving movement of sound, color, and vision, and that's constantly in flux. It is not stagnant. We like to think that we can always think of something as is always that way. This cup is always this cup. Not necessarily. What if we melt it down? What if we break it? Right? But this is the same thing with this holographic light grid. It's always in flux. Our body is always in flux. Hormones in your body are not the same right now as they were 5 minutes ago. Depends on what's stimulating you, right? Okay. Today we are going to talk about the first dimension, the very first dimension. This is the dimensions of animals, molecules, and the mineral world. This includes crystals. Okay, so this will show you a little bit why crystals are so powerful. Crystals and gems. So this is the foundation of the universe. This is like the prime molecule seed of Mother Gaia. This includes minerals, right? And that are essential for our 3D creation. What is the core of all the What are the core of all the planets? In the planets, we have all those minerals, right? The core of the planets, not all, I guess. I shouldn't say all or none. But our planet, right? We have the core. We have the iron in the earth. We have the rocks around us. And this also includes the elemental spirits attached to this, okay? So the elemental, to the spirits, to the fae, that are of the rock, are of the ore, are of the minerals. This also includes that which is in with you. So within our human consciousness, this is an unconscious space. Within our human consciousness, this is an unconscious human space. In that, it's unconscious to our 5 senses. Because it's the atoms, it's the minerals within us. We're not conscious of what's going through there. I'm not conscious necessarily of the iron that's in my blood. I might feel the effects of it if I don't have enough or I have too much, but I'm not supremely conscious of it with my 5 senses. Can't see it, can't taste it, not technically touching it, I can't hear it, and I can't feel it, but it's in there, okay? It's the most dense, so it's the ultra physical plane. It's gravity. It holds us down onto the earth, but it also holds us together. So it's like our own internal gravitational pull. If you think about it, the minerals and stuff within us also are like they're like, I think of the iron of the earth keeping us down, holding us down, magnetizing us. It's also magnetizing us together. So we don't fractalate, right? We don't go fractal. We don't split off into all these tiny pieces. Makes me think of when you look at pixelation on a screen. It makes it so we're not pixelating and floating away, okay? This is also part of the quantum physics. So we got the electrons, the protons, the nuclei, the quarks, right? It's connecting the entire physical world on a molecular level and is the gateway between microcosm and macrocosm. So those little tiny finite, again, all those little atoms within us, within everything, and the macrocosm, because it's creating, when they're bound together, when they are joined together, it creates this macrocosm space. All these little tiny things. So we're at this gateway point between the two, okay? Stones, okay, I love this. Think of the most dense aspect of ourselves. The most dense aspect. Fingernails? Well, that's kind of an offshoot of what I'm thinking. Our bones. The densest aspect, right? Teeth, our bones. What do you think is the bones of the earth? Stones, rocks, crystals. The ancients used to prepare the bones of the earth, the stones, in a kind of geomancy to shift their vibration. They would, I want to say impregnate, that's not the word I'm looking for. We'll say that. Impregnate the stones with this geomancy, with these symbols, with these energetic vibrations. For the knowledge to be instilled in the bones of the earth, to live for millennia. And this is why, so this vibrational energy is in there, is in these bones. And this is why people go to these ancient wisdom sites, right? Sacred sites, as we call them. Excuse me. These sacred sites. Because when you go there, you are shifted. People, when they come back, they're like, I had this major epiphany. I had this major insight. I shifted, I changed. You do. Because this vibration, what did we talk about? dimensions are part of this vibratory energy. We are part of this vibratory energy. I actually just heard this thing on a video the other day. It was this doctor, and they have this new, what was it? What's it called? It's not the CAT scan, it's the other one. Where they basically put electrodes on your brain, right? And they used to do it where they still do this. There's these tools where they put the electrodes on and then they get you to think of certain things and they can see how your brain is reacting inside your brain, in your skull, right? You can see how the electronic everything, the currents that are going and what's firing, what's not, and all of that thing, right? Going on in there by putting these electrodes on. Well, they have a new one. It doesn't even touch your head. It sits outside. It's a magnetic, I wish I could remember the name right now, but it's totally eluding me. I'm sure you know it's not the CAT scan, it's the other one. And they actually put it outside. They don't even touch your head. And they can read the brainwaves from out there because the current does not just get stuck in your skull. And this is that whole adage about what you think shifts other things, right? It can shift your reality because you're putting out that vibratory energy. So these rocks have this vibratory energy placed in them. And so when you go to them, when you go to these pillars of the earth, you are feeling those vibratory resonances, and your DNA, your iron within you, your molecules within you are vibrating along in resonance with them. They're speaking to each other and you're being upshifted, right? The Universal Mother knows you. She knows you. She guides you. She refines you. So if you want to work with her and the lower densities, sit with her. Sit with the rocks. Listen to what they say. The trees have been speaking loudly to me lately. In a session the other day, my client was talking about how they've been getting all these messages from the rocks. Because they have messages. Listen, go and sit with them and listen. And as you work with these energies and you take the messages from them and you give them messages, you're actually sending change throughout the world. Your feet are on the earth where you are right now. My feet are on the earth where I am right now. And the earth sends our messages through. There's a collective consciousness, not just up here, but down like the mycelium of the mushroom world, down in through the earth, connecting to each other and talking to each other. So let's create change this way. It's possible. It's there. This is the first dimension through the crystals, right? We were talking about the crystals earlier. They are infused with this energy of the earth, of the prime, original, molecular source of Gaia and all her ancient wisdoms. Okay, that's it for me for today. I'll put my contact information in the little box below. If you want to be in touch, if you have any questions, any curiosities, any suggestions for future videos you'd like to see me speak upon, I'm gladly here for you. Sessions are also available. Check out the info below, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.